Hello. Merry Christmas again. It's me. I'm back. Got a few boys on the go, a couple new boys, Ciaran and Sim, but Lew returning from his Mandalorian days. The Mandalorian days. Wow, I miss those Mandalorian days. But today we're going to talk about Attack on Titan. The final season has been airing for 4 weeks. So we're going to go through the first 4 episodes. Of Attack on Titan season 4. Um, this was a show that took a while to convince me. Peer pressure and also FOMO made me catch up to the whole series. More FOMO, to be honest. I just wanted to be a part of this. But yeah, so far I've been loving season 4. It's been a really interesting, different take on the whole thing and added so many different layers and shades to the whole story that I wasn't really seeing coming. So yeah, Sim, how about you start? You're furthest on my screen. What do you think of the episode?
Yeah, they've been sick. Surprised me at the start, like after all the hype of the first three seasons, all of a sudden we're following 4 or 5 kids we've never seen before.
Yeah,
So again, like this season was like a slow builder, but as you kind of start putting the pieces together, who's who, like what's been going on since the last season, yeah, it's just got hype.
yeah. They focused on these few new guys really, like this it's Falco and Gabby, and I don't remember all their
Yeah,
names. But kind of a new team of kids that kind of, meant to mirror the kids from the beginning of the show a little bit, but obviously with their own
yeah.
story. Um, what about you, Ciaran, then?
What about what? Sorry. What do I think?
What have you thought of the new season generally before we get into specifics?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, like in terms of the Attack on Titan train, I got on it just after Joel, so it's been a long time since I saw the last season, and
Yeah,
so I was pretty. To be honest, I was pretty fucking baffed. Uh, like, totally, like all of this stuff with like the ancestry of the Titan, which is obviously like pretty pertinent to the storyline. I've just been a little bit lost, which is my fault for not watching the proper recap. And
no, but it is still
but
quite confusing.
it is a little bit confusing, and this whole like now we're just now it the way in which it's panned out, where now we're like the Marlians slash Eldian people on the continent, like looking at the whole story from the other side, and like say like the kids from the corpse back in the island, and then the kids from like the Malian camps, like it's, yeah. I'm wondering. To be honest, the main thing is after watching the last epi, I'm wondering like whether the story is going to turn into much other than like um, just like a really wildly complicated story about giants, but with just like two sides of the fence to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's very much like a one side of the story, other side of the story. Who's good? Who's evil? I don't know. I'm hoping that something's going to slap on the like.
Well, as to the who's good, who's evil, it's kind of become clear that the kids who are growing up as Eldians in Paradis on the island are the same as these new kids who are oppressed in Mali just because of who they are and how they're born.
Yeah,
Yeah,
All of these kids are just kind of indoctrinated really into like this weird war between like the elders and rich families who we've been seeing turn up, at least especially today
Yeah.
in the latest episode.
Yeah, it's big generational parallels in all the stories.
yeah. I find it interesting seeing the scene in the most recent episode where they're serving the food at the banquet, and that was really where you got these kind of like racism-esque parallels between, or pretty
Yeah.
much is literally racism, isn't it?
Well, even it's like the Holocaust with like the armband and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, I felt that like, and the way the kimono woman, I thought that was such a nice touch. Actually, I don't know what her name is, but call her kimono woman. The way she was just like, I'm not telling them that was you. I think she's got something to say. She's got some
Yeah.
more thing to say in this show. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
starting at the beginning of the season, then just so we have some kind of structure to this. We're introduced to basically the war going on between the Malians and the Allied forces. I've got these things right here for me. I hope that's correct. And you kind of learn how all these kids are kind of trained up to eventually become Titans themselves.
Sorry,
and,
Anthony. First episode, the one where they're in the trenches.
Yeah. So that's the one that was sick because that was all very war based, and I was so confused at the beginning, and then I kind of, to be fair, I needed Joel to explain some shit to me to kind of understand what was going on. But no, it was that was sick. I liked the battle scenes and all of that. I liked I'm quite a fan of like when a story changes direction completely and you're following new people and like, I don't know, I quite like that generally. And it just made me start thinking, no, they really do have a plan. I always kind of thought they had a plan, but really, like, I think that they have quite a good plan. And yeah, so we introduced to these kids, and also this Zeke fella, that's his name, right? The
Yeah.
Beast Titan.
Yeah.
He's been about as well. That's something that I get a bit confused about. Is he just another Eldian?
He is Krishna's son who betrayed him when he was a kid.
So he's Aaron's brother.
Yeah, Aaron's half brother.
Yeah.
And Falco, the little kid Falco, is Zeke's little brother, right?
No. Falco is.
Today,
Do you remember Krishna's friend?
Yeah.
It's his son.
But didn't they say today that in the latest episode, didn't they say that because Falco's trying really hard to become a Titan, for his personal reasons, but they're like, it doesn't really matter because his brother was already a Titan. His brother was the Beast Titan. I thought they said that today. So like his position as a Titan, his family is already kind of like saved.
Yeah, exactly. And so it came to like that he's just in love with the Misaka parallel girl.
Yeah. Gabby, I think her name was.
Gabby, yeah. And he just doesn't want her to have to go to war.
That's well cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute. No, that was a nice touch. What I really liked, to be honest, I thought the second episode was all right. Like, it added some like more plot talk, but I really found the third episode interesting about Reiner. Because Reiner's always been like quite an interesting character. Again, another one of these very German names. There's like Reiner, Bertolt, Hannes. It's like so many German dons. It's like but yeah. It was interesting to see kind of that process of how him and Bertolt and Annie and all those people kind of turned into these Titans and stuff. And I trying to like, they do very well at kind of making these
justifying it.
monsters. Yeah. And then they're actually just the same as anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, because when back in season 2 or 3, when they like it was when Reiner like turned out he was the Beast Titan and Amy, like they caught her in the fucking net of arrows, and like it was such a shock watching it and being like, oh shit, it was him. How the fuck is he a Titan? Like, what's he, and seeing the whole infiltration process and the indoctrination they've had before that. Yeah,
it's trying to make some actually quite deep points about war, I think, and I guess all that shit, to be honest. And like at first, they kind of just made it seem like it was a very simple plot. There's people behind the wall, they get eaten, it's peak, and then suddenly it's like, no, this is so much fucking deeper than that. And that was effective to do that because you have this insular approach. You think it's one thing, and then when they open it up, you're starting to grow with these other characters, and you're starting to sympathize for them. So obviously, when people come into conflict, you're going to feel a little bit torn, which is obviously what they're
Um,
going for, because they want to show you that basically everyone is the same at the end of the day.
Yeah.
For the first few seasons as well, like the whole show was just basically there's the walled city with like the wall rows and whatever, and there's like the surrounding area that's filled with these titans, and then all of a sudden you realize, like toward at the end of the third season, and now in this one you've got this like actually it's a small island connected to a larger continent where everyone's fighting and wants to fight them.
Yeah, and the other thing is like the setting in time as well. The first modern thing in the whole season was shown in the last episode, which was a baseball mitt and a baseball.
Really, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it is when that kid was talking to Aaron on the bench.
Yeah.
The baseball. He had a baseball at the
Yeah.
end of the episode, didn't it?
Yeah,
It about.
That's
yeah, and it's just
what do
like
you think that's saying?
it might imply some like future apocalypse type setting,
Okay.
or alternative history. But you know, because like when it started, you kind of think like maybe like kind of Greek mythology influenced or medieval or just like old, like all the technology's old, all the kind of the ideas are old, and then all of a sudden you've got modern cultural things just thrown in there. They're just not like casually part of the world.
Yeah. No, it is interesting. And you kind of alluded to it there by mentioning him, but the big reveal in the post-credit scene that I initially missed, but I went back to finish.
Yeah,
That Don on the bench was Aaron.
yeah, that done.
That Don, who was getting Falco to do him little favors and stuff.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? What do you know? What his plan is? Are we just not supposed to know? Is it?
Well, at the end of the last season, they found the sea. They found the edge of Paradise, the island. And Aaron was really determined. He had that mean face of his, and he looked off into the distance and said, like, I'm going to infiltrate, I'm going to learn all about the enemy, and then I'm going to destroy everyone in the whole world.
Wow.
But he's been sending letters back through this little kid, presumably back to the island.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, and he could have just snuck off, you know, or caused mayhem from inside. But instead, he chose to reveal himself to Reiner, which implies he's going for some kind of collaborative, peaceful hope, you know, maybe
Yeah, because
way out of this.
He's got his opinions about Ryder. Like, he felt very betrayed by Ryder. So, yeah, you don't know what his game is there, because Reiner seems like someone that he'd maybe want to kill.
Maybe, but you've like 4 or 5 years have passed since the last season.
Okay,
like they've all got a lot
older.
They all look a lot older. You know, Aaron's got this disguise as a cripple, you know.
Yeah.
It was weird. I thought that was really weird, because surely he could like grow back his limb.
Yeah, he's got the ability to heal himself whenever he wants.
But can he do it on cue? Like, he doesn't. It isn't just like, I'm injured, so my body will rejuvenate.
I think
he can
control it. And
it's been 4 or 5 years since we last saw him be able to do anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so his skill set must have improved.
Probably got shit under wraps.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was training a lot throughout the first few seasons as well. Like, you know, for the first season, he like, or the second season, he didn't work out how to do the wall thing.
Yeah.
For ages.
Yeah. And also when Reiner and Berthold were sneaking into the scout corps, they all had the Titan powers, but they were all injured as well, because their story was their village got destroyed, and you know they were in slings, they had broken arms.
Yeah. Going back to the Reiner episode, just because I remembered that bit where he says that, remember that nice thing he says to Aaron, I forget exactly what it is, but he has his back in like an emotional moment and like motivates him, and Eren was so betrayed because of that. But then when you see it from Reiner's perspective, it was actually someone, a human, who was responding emotionally in a situation that, you know, and you feel for him, and that's the thing what the season's doing the best. I think it's just adding a bit of emotional depth.
Yeah, well, it's that pure empathy that I feel. I know exactly how you feel because I'm going through the exact same thing from the other side.
Yeah, and
you know,
and he does actually. That wasn't a lie, and that wasn't a fake moment from Reiner. Actually, it was quite genuine. And yeah, all of that stuff's nice. The change of perspective has been really refreshing, I think, because the main problem I had with Attack on Titan, especially season 1, which I thought was a bit too long, and they didn't move things along quick enough, because it was constantly like, oh my god, they're coming. Oh my god, my life's been nothing. I'm a coward. It was just a bit too depressing, and like I get that was what they were going for, but but they do less of those long, deep monologues, and it's become a bit more like natural conversation. I don't know. I just feel like the writing has improved. I don't know. I haven't read has anyone read the, what's it called? The manga?
No, I haven't.
No, so you don't know what's coming?
No. I think now I'm this far into it, I probably will read the manga after it's finished.
Yeah.
But having got to this point with all the suspense in the anime, I'm just like, I got to finish it without spoiling it for myself.
Yeah. Do you know how many episodes? Man, I'm going to look this up. How many episodes we've got this season?
I thought I read 15, but I also read that it was like not confirmed because it's made by a different studio than the other seasons.
Yeah, it has moved studio. I've got here written that currently 16 episodes have been listed, but that isn't even like a confirmation that there's going to be 16.
Yeah, fair. I mean, first season was like 23, wasn't it? Or it was up in the...
Yeah, I think it was like 20, even 25, which is why it's a bit excessive, but...
Well, like, I guess when it's based on a manga and they want to get it all
in there, yeah. I just found that season 2's pacing was probably the best for me because it was so quick. It was like, I think only like 12, 13 episodes or something, and it just felt like there was more momentum. And I feel like, again, they're not going for that this year. They need a longer season because they're trying to bring all of these new elements in and then make it pop. So I like it now. I do feel it's purposeful. I just felt at points in season 1 and maybe season 3 that they just kind of went down certain roads a bit too long.
Yeah,
could have moved it quicker.
Yeah, I mean, this season's all about. Yeah, this season's all about retrospect. It's about seeing everything we've seen so far in a completely new light and making sense of stuff that we didn't have context for when we were watching it first time.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's literally. I mean, I don't know what their plan is for the whole season. Like, do they split it in half and we get like a mid-season where then in the second half of the season everything comes together, but this first half is just going to be kind of not on the people we already know that much. But I guess now they brought back Eren and they are going to start to maybe tie it in. But
there was another little post-credit scene, I think from a different. I can't remember if it was the last episode or I think it was the last episode, the one before the one we just watched, where it showed Mikasa and the other Armin in like their scout uniform doing bits back at home. I think.
Is there always a post-credit scene then?
I think so. Yeah. Because I was really stoked. I was like, finally.
Yeah, I'm maybe missing out on some post-credit scene info then.
Yeah, I realized this. I think I missed the first one, and then at the second one I just left it running, and then realized that they all had them.
Yeah.
There should be some warning, man.
Yeah, because they're pretty long scenes.
Yeah, and there's pretty vital info as well.
Yeah.
The one today, I was kind of annoyed about the one today because they dropped so much stuff. There was a little voiceover as well, and it was like, Eren has done this, and blah, 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 blah. See you next week.
I found that really funny, actually. I loved that bit.
What was that?
Why was this not in the episode?
It was proper like after school special, like hype building.
Yeah, there was.
Find out next week.
There was that little scene in the middle of the episode as well when we saw Eren. The episode 4. The little scene like, oh, I wish something interesting would happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Well, when he was like when he was initially getting on the bench and all that. you know what I mean? Like just
And-
being in
well,
the
when we
hospital.
first met him on the bench.
Yeah.
I love how we're just referring to this bench, but he was pretty much just sitting on a bench for ages.
Yeah.
The bench, but I mean, I don't recall much.
You don't recall the bench. That's like the main part of the whole show, man.
That's where he's been the whole time.
He's just sat down, like playing with his little ball.
Yeah.
Doing chucking his new ball around, like blooming out modern
Yeah.
culture. Sick.
So do you think we're gonna get a backstory episode on Aaron then, how he got there?
I don't think so, because the way season 3 ended, you know, they got to the sea. He'd said what his plan was, which was to go infiltrate, and he's doing that. You know.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it maybe just but he must have got up to some interesting shit, right?
Well, he faked amnesia. To be fair, I think the interesting shit he got up to would have been before he got there. I don't know how long. I don't know if he's been there the full like 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I think with the episodes being short, I think they could do a little one-off one where they kind of give us a bit more, because when you do a time jump, often sometimes you can lose that connection with your character because they can change so much
Yeah.
at the time. So it would be good to still get some like
Yeah.
what were you up to in that time, bro?
Yeah, and like this is like personality and even visually, we hardly recognize it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that hospital was for people with PTSD, so they'd all come from like some battle somewhere. Presumably, they were all like, you know, victims from some battle, like probably the one we saw in the first episode. So
Yeah, well,
Ciaran was like has done literally like a Reiner-esque thing and just been in some of the battles, just in the trenches. Like, what are you?
Yeah, maybe. Was he in the first episode?
I think
Who?
I don't think he was in the first.
Aaron?
No, I think he just got introduced in the last one, didn't he?
No, he was in the episode before then as well.
In the post-credit scene.
No, in the actual episode.
Well,
He's been about.
so
Falco recognized him straight away as well. Like the whole
Yeah.
time we're introduced to Aaron is through Falco. So
Yeah.
Falco is who he is.
Yeah, he's Falco's mate.
But how is he Falco's mate, man? How is
Just
he
from being about in this internment zone, whatever that is.
So he
Like, I guess this is a place for Eldians in Mali, because they're still a really like oppressed people in Mali. They're like separate from everyone else, I think.
I have questions. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you know how we've gone from an island where we went from like a little wall to like a ring around a few walls and then an island, and then
Yeah.
now we've got the continent, right? But there's two other things which are confusing me. Well, not confusing me, but they're just like kind of crossroads in the storyline. Because Malians are fighting Eldians on the continent. aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, I think so.
Or rather, the like, episode.
Or I think they're fighting someone. They also fight all the other nations. That's been their thing.
The fight in the first episode wasn't with the Eldians. It was with
Yeah, they're just big bullies because they've got all these Titan powers.
Okay,
and they just love flexing on all the other nations.
So was the idea that they're getting punished on some level for being Titans in the past?
Yeah.
So like it's supposed to be like they initially conquered like the whole world through their Titan power, and then when the main Titan lady, who was like this one super Titan, she split off into all these little bits, and like power basically fractured. And I guess that's how, because the royal family that got introduced today, one of them is a Titan, just one. We don't know who. They did a panning shot where they showed like all the old ladies and all the kids.
I thought it was that handsome bloke.
I mean,
who everyone loves. I thought it was him. Yeah,
it's probably him. But
well, they could pull it. Yeah, you're right. They could pull one on us.
Yeah,
have it be one of the grannies, just because they like, and this is the most powerful Titan as well.
What's it called? Like the Warhammer Titan or something?
Yeah, I think so. Warhammer.
That's the one. Yeah.
And this whole festival where they've invited all the ambassadors from all over the world to come see. Yeah, I just wonder what it's going to be. Like maybe he's going to get the Titan out. Maybe he's going to declare war on the island. Who knows?
And another little, just a funny little note that just popped into my head. There was a real quick scene in the latest episode where the lady who's the cart Titan, the one who like took Zeke away at the end of the 3rd season, she's just crawling around.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh yeah, on the ground with like her butt sticking in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's because she's that Titan that just crawls around, which is pretty funny.
No, it was funny. It does occasionally have that sense of like kind of weird humor about it too.
Yeah.
But no, I'm actually quite excited to see how they end this show and where it's actually going. It's almost like there was 3 seasons of prologue and then 1 season of show in a sense. Everything else was just like a setup.
I mean, that's kind of the effect you get with the time skip as well. It's like, okay, so that was all relevant, but this is where the story happens.
This is the real fucking crunch. But man, I don't know why animes love having the longest fucking theme tunes.
The theme tune for this season is terrible, man.
It is so bad. I'm like trying to like get into it when it's like going, but nah.
Nah, bro.
Nah.
Like, I don't know what they've done with like the word setting is just unbearable. Like, what the fuck? I find the lyrics.
To the end.
This is my last war.
It isn't great, is it? Yeah, I always just try and skip it, but obviously when it's not Netflix or whatever, like you actually have to like guess the minute, and I'm like, shit, it's still going. Like 1 minute and 1 minute more. What? How can you have more theme tune in you? Like the show is 20 minutes, and it says like 25 minutes because of the intro and outro theme tune. But I swear the show itself is only like 20 minutes.
Outro theme's long as well, which is why it's fair enough you missed all the
Yeah, exactly.
all the after credit scenes.
All that, just do the scene and then do your stupid song afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck me. Is there anything else people want to add? Actually, yeah, that whole statue thing. Does that have significance? The statue of this Don?
That was like supposed to be the tie-in, the main tie-in, I guess, or like some precursor from like the Titan War 100 years ago, or some
guy that killed some hero that killed the Titans, wasn't it?
Some prophecy bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that might have some significance. Like, I don't know. It says on this little recap that this Don thinks that it's going to be a situation where you're either going to get a Reiner or Eren statue by the end of the show. So it's quite a nice little observation.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of generational parallels, and like with the royal family and all the legends that happened in the past, you kind of expect something similar to go down with the same actors from the same families.
Yeah.
Because you've got everyone, you got all the classic families there. You got the Jaegers, the whatever Masaka's family is, Mikasa.
Wait, were they at the meal, the banquet?
Sorry.
Wait, were you talking about the banquet? Sorry, I've just like lost you for a second.
No. What's the banquet?
The bit with the kimono lady. Sorry, I'm tripping.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying that everyone, all the families are just like gathered in this like town.
Yeah, for the banquet, for the festival thing.
For the festival, yeah.
The Jaegers are there.
Yeah, Eren's there.
Oh, well, yeah.
And Eren's granddad's there.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. He talked to his granddad on the bench, didn't he?
Yeah, his granddad had a fucking breakdown.
Oh, that is granddad.
Yeah, he introduced himself as Dr. Jaeger. Yeah.
Mad world.
And that's why he was like worried about the kid, because it was the kid of the guy who, you know, got arrested and turned into a Titan.
Madness.
Yeah.
It's a lot to think about. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to happen, to be honest. A lot still yet to happen. But yeah, I guess we can give a little roundup. Everyone kind of give a rating for the first 4 episodes of the season, and I don't know, maybe some hopes for the future. So let's look at my screen. Sim again. Do you want to? Yeah, just a little.
I mean, in terms of rating, I'm hooked. I'm gonna give it an 8 because it's been sick, but there's been some strange bits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess hopes. Obviously, a reunion of all the old characters getting back together, fighting, killing Titans. That is what we all want. We got to see it at some point. You know, Captain Levi, all the scouts. Fucking Armin's a Titan now as well. We haven't seen a peep out of him. Like, obviously we've been focused on all these new characters, but at some point the old characters have got to play their part.
Yeah,
So
man,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
No, I agree. Ciaran, I see you're muted. Is that? Yeah, there you
go.
I'm here, mate. I'm here.
I mean, I don't know about a rating, but to be honest, I think probably going to move pretty quickly, pretty soon, because I imagine that in the kind of story arc they're going for, there's going to be a good 2 or 3 double episodes at the end or something. Just fucking cover all of the climax, you know. That would be the only thing that disappointed me. If it's just some underhand. If all it is underhand politics between.
And there's no big battle.
And then there's just no battle, no stabbing Titans in the neck, no nothing.
Yeah.
I like the show.
Lew?
I'm gonna give you a rating. I'm gonna give it 7.5 for these 4 episodes, just because I've spent them so confused.
That's on you. That's not on the episode.
I mean, it is on me, yeah, but there are so many subtle clues. You just told me that guy who had the breakdown on the bench was Erin's grandfather, and I didn't even clock. That makes that scene so much more dense, and that's just one little thing that you've blinked.
To be fair, I paused it when he said, "I'm Dr. Jaeger." I paused it. It was just like, wait, what?
Yeah,
that must be his granddad. You know, yeah.
But no, my hopes and dreams.
Now it's laughing you up because he knows exactly what happens in the show. No, it's why I'm muted.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Sam's in the background. He's watched
That's
it.
what Sam's read everything.
Sam's read the manga.
Oh, fair. Well, yeah, keep him quiet.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, Lew, what were your hopes?
Hopes and dreams. Just I want to see I want to see that fucking suit thing again, with the swords and the slinging. I want to see that shit again.
Yeah, all the climbing and from building to building.
Yeah, I miss there's not been very. I want some more action, basically, and I agree with Ciaran. If the whole thing just ends up being underhand politics, it's gonna be a bit well, yeah, you've resolved this epic little story, but with shaking hands.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I agree.
there's a lot of anti-war rhetoric across the whole thing, the brutality that war actually is. And you know, from the first episode, we went from Eren saying what hero scouts are and how he's going to kill the Titans to a Titan coming and eating his mum. You know, the brutality of war isn't worth the the glory of victory.
Mm.
Very deep, Sim. Very deep shit.
No, that's
But
definitely.
so like maybe a handshake is
After all that,
is what the world fucking needs.
No, like
I don't see another humongous titan sliding his face across the floor, then I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree
yeah.
with both kind of sentiments. I think that if it's just all kind of clever politics and plotting and kind of what's the word, almost like surprise or kind of like trying to play the trick, you thinking there's a big battle and there's not, like it would be a bit of a piss take. However, the sentiment, you're correct. What they're trying to make a point of is definitely the brutality of it, and that obviously is it's not trying to say like it's not like a Clint Eastwood war film. It's not trying to say you gotta beat the enemy to be the best man, but
Yeah.
you still, as fans of the show that have been promised such spectacular action for the end, like there has to be some compromise of like there is a more intelligent ending than just a battle, but
yeah,
like
it'll be some battle.
yeah,
Because
there's got to be
however
some big fucking
however
battle.
it's resolved, whatever handshakes there will be conflicts, there will be opposition.
Yeah, of course,
to
nothing
that.
resolves so simply.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So to go back to rating it, I'll give it an 8 as well. I agree. I'm confused a lot. I have to read recaps afterwards. I have to ask people a bit more what is all saying. But I've just been very impressed with the format and the structure and the different take that they've done, and the fact that they've kept it going for so long. I just find it quite intriguing, and I feel like I'm watching it more intently than I was before. So yeah, I want to praise it. Um, hopes, yeah, I think all of your hopes. I want everyone to come together. I want there to be big battles, and I do want to maybe see what they were up to in the time gap. Even if it's not so spoon fed, like you see every little moment till they arrive, but just like some kind
Drips
of
and
bits,
drabs.
yeah, that like gave them some kind of progression and development in that little area. But no, man, like it has been sick. I'm genuinely really impressed. Apparently, according to Wikipedia, there is not an episode next week. It's back on the 11th.
Nah, come on. After that ending as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cruel.
But it means the Doobies and movies is well timed because it's kind of a bit of a milestone. Actually, couldn't have worked out better, to be honest, because even doing it last week, there wasn't much to discuss. But just that drop of Eren made it everything just so much more juicy. So I think we timed this quite well, actually. I guess in the future with this, we can just do it whenever it feels like there's enough to do an episode on. It doesn't have to be like every 4. Just with 20-minute shows, it's hard to kind of, because that's about as long as one of these. So you can't like, you can't really don't have enough to really talk about. But yeah, anyways, bless for coming on and talking Attack on Titan. I'm gonna do, I think maybe a couple more before the end of the year. So I'm not gonna say Happy New Year or any of that fucking bullshit. But yeah, keep smoking doobies, keep watching movies. Check out unadulterated reviews, unscripted, unedited, unadulterated. What was my third slogan? Yes, like and subscribe to page, love and vibe every day. Yeah, I'll be with you soon, I'm sure. End of year awards, I'm definitely gonna do. I'm trying to get people on talking about the new shit Wonder Woman film, and like I would quite like to rinse it. If any of you have seen it, want to rinse the new Wonder Woman film with me, that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, bless. Peace out. Enjoy life.